Hey everybody, I'm gonna try something a little bit different in this video. Some unscripted content, but it's something that I haven't really done on this channel. And I see a lot of these on channels that I watch, and I'm always a little bit jealous that people get to do them. And I figured I would try and do one on my channel, see how it goes, see if any of you people are interested in actually watching something like this. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't know. But that is sort of a haul video in essence. So recently they had a Criterion flash sale. I try to typically buy, a couple of things every time they do a flash sale, because I always have, a long running list of stuff that I want to get from Criterion. So I usually try and take advantage of the flash sales when I have the opportunity to do so. So I thought I would share some of those purchases with you, see if this is something that you guys are interested in or not. I don't know. Part of the reason that I wanted to do this is because this is more sort of like bigger than what I usually do. So typically each flash sale I save up. I'll say they do I think either 3 or 4 of these throughout the year. And I'm not talking about the Barnes & Noble one, that's off the table. I'm talking about just Criterion flash sales. They typically do one in the spring, and then sometimes one in the summer, and then one usually fall, sort of Black Friday, somewhere in there. And then, there might be another one in there somewhere at some point in time. So 3 or 4 of those a year. I typically try to save up around like maybe $100 each time. That usually gets you 4 or 5 Blu-rays at that point. This time I went in a little bit more, partially because there were some 4Ks that I wanted to get. And also there was some other stuff that I just wanted to get to kind of like round out some directors, and just to visit or revisit some things that I've been wanting to see for a while. We'll start off first with the first of the 4Ks, which is Jane Campion's The Piano. I saw this movie for the first time probably in like either 2019 or 2020. I feel like it was probably 2020. Criterion Channel did, it was The Piano, In the Cut, and Holy Smoke. And was not a huge fan of In the Cut. I think I get what she was going for, but it didn't really work for me. But huge fan of The Piano, big fan also of Holy Smoke. Maybe Holy Smoke will get like a Criterion at some point in time. But The Piano is genuinely one of the best films that I've ever seen. Like, I'm not saying that hyperbolically. Like, it's amazing. It's incredible. The script is amazing. The direction, the cinematography, the acting, like everything about it. Incredible. And I actually I was going to put this in one of my top 10 films that Criterion needs to put on Blu-ray. And then they ended up announcing it. So this is it. Here it is on 4K. They got this little fancy little, platinum sticker up here. So super excited to watch this again, to dive into the special features. It seems like it has some really cool stuff on it. And yeah, The Piano. Looking forward to that. Next up, we have Wes Anderson's Moonrise Kingdom. I own almost all of the Wes Anderson films that Criterion has put out. I think the only thing that I don't have at this point, now that I have Moonrise Kingdom, is Fantastic Mr. Fox. And then, they have not put out Isle of Dogs or French Dispatch. Obviously, it usually takes like a couple of years from the time that those go on sale home video until Criterion gets them. So Isle of Dogs may be coming pretty soon. And then French Dispatch, it's probably going to be another year or two. But yeah, I bought this because I do genuinely love Moonrise Kingdom, like as a film. It's one of my, I would say that it might be in my top 3 Wes Anderson films. I'd have to kind of double check, think about that again, but I think it might be in my top 3. So, and I've been meaning to get it for a long time, and now I've got it. Next up is Francis Ford Coppola's Rumblefish. This is an amazing black and white, Francis Ford Coppola's words on this, art film for teenagers, adapted from the S.E. Hinton story, just like The Outsiders was, which was another Francis Ford Coppola movie. And I actually, a friend of mine turned me onto this, saw it probably two or 3 years ago, I guess, and just absolutely loved it. I loved Mickey Rourke in this, loved Matt Dillon. I think, is it Dennis Hopper is in this? I believe Dennis Hopper is in this. Diane Lane. This is like one of Diane Lane's like first appearances. She's amazing in this. And yeah, it's just a great, like, thoughtful, artistic, teen drama film. So in my opinion, one of Coppola's best, but also one of his like most overlooked when it comes to like, sort of like just general movie watchers. The people who are really into movies, really into cinema, they probably either heard or seen Rumblefish, but your average moviegoer probably has not. So love this one, been wanting to pick it up for a long time, and now it's in the Criterion collection, and now it's in my collection. That's so cheesy, but I'm gonna leave it in anyway. Next up, I've got The Black Stallion. This is Carol Ballard's first feature film, and it also has a collection of his short films. There's 5 of them on here, so this is a pretty awesome edition because it has kind of everything, all of his like early stuff basically. It's the story of like a little boy who's on a passenger liner with his father, and something happens. I don't think it's quite clear like what causes the issue, but like the boat sinks and the boy ends up on a deserted island with this Black Stallion, hence the name of the movie, and him and the Black Stallion end up bonding, and he ultimately ends up getting rescued, but he cannot bear being separated from the Black Stallion. And there's an interesting sort of way that the story evolves from there, which I don't want to spoil for anybody, but this is a fantastic film. It might be Carol Ballard's best film, although Fly Away Home is pretty amazing. This one, I've been meaning to do a Carol Ballard series for like literally like almost a year. I watched all of his films. I took notes on all of them. I literally just need to write the scripts and make the videos. But I got this originally from DVD Netflix and watched it and absolutely fell in love. And I was like, I got to get that the next time that they have the flash sale. So it's here, and I am absolutely in love with it. Amazing cinematography, as you would expect from a Carol Ballard film. He always has great photography in all of his films. It's a great story, and Mickey Rooney, of all people, shows up in it and is sort of like ends up sort of being a mentor to the boy, and just those two on screen together. The kid who plays the boy in this had never done anything ever. Like, this was his first acting gig, was the Black Stallion. And between him and Mickey Rooney, like, those two as a pair are just incredible. Next up, I'll do 2 at the same time. It's David Cronenberg's Scanners and Videodrome. Now, I would say historically, I have not been a huge fan of David Cronenberg. I have liked some of his movies and not liked others of his movies. I remember seeing, I think, Videodrome when I was in film school and sort of like not sort of kind of passing off on it, not really caring that much about it. And I ended up rewatching it maybe like in 2019 or 2020 on the Criterion channel and kind of fell in love with it. And then I watched Scanners. They had Scanners on HBO Max and I really liked Scanners. I keep wanting to say that I had seen it before, but I'm not actually sure whether I'd seen it before or not. But yeah, loved Scanners, fell in love with Videodrome on my rewatch. So I figured I'd get both of those and, you know, have those in my collection. Next up is Kelly Reichardt's Old Joy. This is one of two of Kelly Reichardt's films that are in the Criterion collection. The other one is Certain Women. Old Joy is probably, it's definitely not my favorite Kelly Reichardt movie, but it's up there. You know, I would say that my favorite is Wendy and Lucy. But this one's a really good one. And with Kelly, it's like I'm just sort of collecting all of her films. So the next one on my list to grab was Old Joy, and I'm looking forward to watching this again. I haven't seen it in a long time. Watching this again, and doesn't look like there's a commentary or anything on here, but there is some interviews and conversations and stuff like that. So looking forward to diving into that again, because like I said, I haven't seen this in a long time. So Kelly Reichardt is another one that I want to do a series on. And once I sort of gather everything and rewatch everything and write scripts, and you'll be seeing that coming up. So next up is the Coen brothers Inside Llewyn Davis. This is, I personally think, one of their best films. I wouldn't say that it's probably, you know, I guess there's two types of Coen films. There's like the crime films, like No Country for Old Men and Miller's Crossing, and you know all that Blood Simple, all that kind of stuff. And then there's sort of like the Raising Arizona, Big Lebowski, you know, those kinds of movies. And I feel like Inside Llewyn Davis definitely fits into that latter group. Oscar Isaac is incredible in this. I love the whole world of 1960s New York that they recreate with this, the folk scene, and that sort of like Bob Dylan kind of world that they recreate in this. And yeah, I just love this movie overall, and I've been wanting to get it for a long time, and it just kind of felt like now was the time for that. So next up we have Chris Marker's La Jetée and Sans Soleil. Probably not pronouncing those the best that I possibly can, but that's what you get out of me. La Jetée is very famous for, you know, it was a very popular short film in the 1960s, and then it's kind of famous now for being the basis of 12 Monkeys. That's where the idea for that film originated. Was they wanted to make a feature-length version, basically, of La Jetée. And then Sans Soleil, so La Jetée is like, I like that film, but I'm not like a huge fan of it. If this Blu-ray was just that, yeah, I probably wouldn't buy it. But Sans Soleil it's like, that's what I bought this for, really. Sans Soleil is a travelogue, but like I would say like it's almost sort of unclassifiable. It is a travelogue, but it's like it's just this collection of footage that Chris Marker shot like all over the world, and he sort of, you know, does this edit of it and includes this voiceover in it that sort of creates a story from the footage that didn't exist in the footage. So it's an amazing film. It's actually part of, on my channel, there's the Frank's 101 movies he wants me to watch list. And then I actually made a list for him, and Sans Soleil is part of that. And I'm going to be making videos coming up about that list where I'm going to be touching on all of those movies. And yeah, I've been wanting to get Sans Soleil for a long time. I used to have this on DVD back in the day, and when I got rid of like a whole bunch of my DVDs, I got rid of it, and I've always regretted that. And, I picked this up because, I've been wanting it back in my collection for a really, really long time. So that's Chris Marker's La Jetée and Sans Soleil. Next up, we have one that I actually was not planning on buying this, like, ever, because I'm not a huge fan of it. And I mean, it's fine. I'm not trying to say that it's bad by any means, but I just don't, I don't see myself revisiting it as much as I do certainly this filmmaker's other films, like really any of his other films. But I don't know, I found myself in a position where I felt like I did want to rewatch it. I felt like there was some things on the supplemental features that I had not seen before. So I was like, well, maybe I should just get this because I have all of his other films. Maybe I should just get this and kind of complete the collection, so to speak. So the next one is Following by Christopher Nolan. Like I said, I love all of his other films. I rewatch all of his other films pretty regularly. I know a lot of people are not big fans of Insomnia, but that's one, honestly, that I watch at least once or twice a year. I regularly rewatch the Batman films and Interstellar and Inception and Tenet and all of them, but Following is just one that I don't really go back to a lot. And I don't know, for some reason, I just I felt drawn to pick this up. It also has a commentary by Nolan, which I've never seen or never listened to. Interviews with Nolan, chronological edit of the film, that should be interesting. And just some different special features. And like I said, for some reason, I just had been really drawn to this, so decided to pick it up. And last but not least is the other 4K that I bought. And I saved it for last for a couple of reasons. And that is the big K, Citizen Kane. I came so close to getting the Blu-ray of this at one point, and I was like, for some reason, I just didn't. And it wasn't that long afterwards that Criterion announced that they were doing this, and I was like, glad that I waited. So, finally got around to picking this up, and what can I say? The best film ever made, widely considered to be the best film ever made. The other reason that I decided to wait until the end, though, was because I did want to make a little bit of a comment on this, and I know that there are other channels that have commented on this before, that have made videos about this. But one thing I want to say is I got this and I was so excited, and then I opened it up and I really sort of understood where some of those other channels were coming from. This packaging is probably the worst packaging that Criterion has ever done. And I'm not talking about the big K, that's some people love that, some people hate it. It's whatever, I don't care. What I'm talking about is the actual physical packaging itself. This is in basically, it's a digipack, first of all, which, I mean, when you have the film that is for decades has widely been considered to be the greatest film of all time, do you put it in a digipack? No, I don't think so. The second thing is it's in a paper sleeve, literally paper sleeve. And the problem is if you pick it up like this, that happens immediately. The only way to keep it in is to like really like clamp down on it. Otherwise, like I said, you let go and it immediately falls out. This isn't even cardboard. This is like straight up paper, you know, thin paper. And the other thing which people have pointed out is when you get to the interior portion of it, it does this fold out thing where it like comes out like this, and I'm not going to fold out the bottom because otherwise the booklet is going to fall out. And then like these things, it's like when you're trying to, I don't know if you can see that, but when you're trying to get the thing out, you have to like bend this back to get the disc out. It really, like, I don't know. When I saw other people's videos, I thought maybe there was a part of me that was like, okay, I get it, but maybe you're overreacting a little bit. But now that I actually have this in my hands, like Criterion is like basically for the longest time has been like the top tier boutique label. You know, they did the best art, the best special features, the best packaging. And I have to say, like, that is a miss. Like, Citizen Kane is a miss. The movie, I'm sure the movie looks incredible. I can't wait to put it in my player and watch it. I can't wait to watch the supplemental features. I'm sure that they're amazing. But man, that's a miss, a huge miss for me. So if you look at like Vinegar Syndrome, like they have the VSU titles, and I don't have one of those handy. I actually have two of those. I don't have them handy, but the packaging on those is incredible, you know? And I would say that like they could have literally done one of these, like the plastic jewel case. Now I think there's like 4 discs in there. So doing a jewel case for them would probably be difficult because like, I think they've only ever had 2 or 3 discs in a jewel case at any point in time. So I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Again, it's the greatest film of all time. Like, maybe you could have put a little bit more thought and effort into that. So, all right, I don't want to spend a lot of time hating on that. I am happy to have it. I've heard that it looks amazing. Like I said before, I'm super excited to put it in my player and watch it and, you know, see the beauty that is that movie. Greg Toland's cinematography, you know, Orson Welles' directing. You know, Citizen Kane is just, it's one of those movies that like I never get tired of watching. So super excited to have a high def version of that in my collection for the first time. Super excited about The Piano and all of these other films. I can't wait to watch them. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I just wanted to try one of these out, see if anybody is interested in them. I do not buy Blu-rays at the level that collecting channels do. So I don't foresee this channel as ever being like a physical media collecting channel, but I do love movies. I do love buying Blu-rays every once in a while. And if you're interested in more of this, you know, then maybe like every couple of months I could string together enough of these, you know, because normally it's like I try and hit the sales when they have them. And I try and hit like Vinegar Syndrome when they have a sale, but they only have sales like, you know, twice a year, I think. And then, you know, sometimes when Kino has sales, I try and hit those. But, you know, the rest of the time, you know, I'll pick up like one thing here and one thing there, but it's like, you know, I'm not like Just the Discs or Films at Home where it's like I'm getting Films at Home gets review copies from studios, and Just the Discs, like that dude, you know, like every month he has like 15 to 20 Blu-rays that he's talking about. And I love both of those guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say anything negative about them. They're great. I love them. You should go check out those channels. They're awesome. But I just don't have the money or the connections to sort of like, and I also don't have the space to just keep adding that amount of physical media, so, but yeah, if you're interested in any of this, let me know in the comments below. If you like this, feel free to leave a like. Please subscribe if you did like the content or you like anything else that I'm doing on this channel. Subscribing really helps me a lot. That's probably what helps me the most. And I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.